And welcome, everyone, to a Pac-12 chat of Andy Katz. Pleased to be joined by McKinley Wright IV from Colorado, one of my favorite players in college basketball. Of course, been charting him for the last 3 seasons. And McKinley, you guys are 5-2 in the Pac-12, essentially getting close here to the halfway mark. You have the trip down to the LA schools. I kind of feel like the 2 losses are 2 that you'd like back. The Oregon State home game, which came right after that Oregon win, and then the road game at Arizona. Clearly, maybe your guys, maybe not your best performance. When you think back at the 2 losses, what jumps out at you?
We weren't ready to play. We didn't execute throughout both those games. There at Arizona, we knew that Zeke and those guys were really good on the offensive glass, and us guards didn't do our job helping the bigs out, rebounding. So that really hurt us that game, and then the turnovers against Oregon State towards the end. They went to a zone, and we didn't take care of the ball. Those are both 2 games that we thought we could have won. So we'll see Oregon State again down in Corvallis, and maybe a chance to see Arizona as well in the Pac-12 tournament.
Yeah, and obviously you're going to get Oregon when you go to Eugene, so you're going to have to go against them again if you want to beat them to win the Pac-12. Before you do any of that, you got to go to LA. And UCLA is playing better. USC clearly is playing pretty well outside of their 1 game at Washington. What needs to occur, especially against when you get to the Trojans on the weekend, inside in terms of dealing with their size and their strength on the boards? What needs to go well for Colorado coming out of this with a sweep or at least a split?
Our defensive rebounding is something that we think travels with us everywhere. So we're going to really hang our hat on that and let the offense take care of itself. We got a lot of weapons on the offensive end. Our offense has been improving throughout the season, so that's not really an area of concern for us. But the defensive rebound has to be huge in order for us to sweep this road trip.
McKinley, it feels like this was a season. Obviously, you guys were predicted to go somewhere in the top 2 with Oregon. But where you guys have crossed over that threshold, where you're winning games that you should win, you're in competitive or you're beating teams like in Oregon, like Dayton at the last possession in the non-conference. Do you feel like you guys have crossed that line? You know what? We're expected to win these kind of games.
Yeah, we know that type of expectation has been put on us, and the fans here deserve it. We've proven that we can play in big games and be a good team. We've had a couple bad losses that we wish we could have back, but we've proven that we can play with these bigger teams and these top 10 teams. So I think we can go as far as we want.
What's this journey been like to come in a little unheralded on your side and some of the other players and see this build to this point where now there's an expectation of winning in Boulder?
That was a big reason why I committed here. I seen the recruiting class, the guys I had I was going to be playing with at least for 3 years with Tyler, Deshaun, and Evan. And when I seen that group and Coach talked about us in the future, it really lit my eyes up, and I was excited to be a part of this program with those guys. And, we knew freshman year was going to be a roller coaster. It was our first time in college basketball. It was a whole different feel. And sophomore year we learned, and junior year, the expectation was put on us because of the season we had last year. It wasn't a terrible season. We had 23 wins, so we just had some bad losses as well last year. We wanted to learn from those losses and grow as a team, and we knew that expectation was going to be put on us, and I think we were ready for it.
One of your Achilles heels, and you don't have many, but one of them was sometimes turning the ball over. And obviously you're so quick, and sometimes you'd almost get ahead of yourself because of your speed. How would you assess the way you are handling turnover issues or anything like that, in terms of your ball handling at this juncture?
I've just been slowing down. I watch film with coaches, and my coach would always tell me sometimes I'm moving too fast and not slowing down and playing at different speeds to see the game progress. As I've been doing that, it's been becoming better for me.
All right, so in LA, you got this road trip, but overall, McKinley, I'm just curious, this locker room right now, give me the vibe of the mood in terms of the sense of optimism, not accomplishment, and we know where there's still a lot more to do, but that sense of optimism with this group every time you guys step on the floor, beginning this weekend again in LA?
We're excited. Every huddle before every game, we tell each other we love each other and let's handle business. Now this is probably the most loving team I've been a part of. Like, our love is deep for each other, so we just want to go out and play and perform at a high level for one another. We all want to see each other successful in the future, so we feel like we got to go out there and do it while we can, while we're all together, because we know we all are going to play together forever. So just trying to make it last as good as possible.
Well, McKinley, I appreciate it. I've been tracking you from afar for quite some time. Have a great weekend in LA. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.